Here is the image which is fading off. Next comes the button part, and on clicking that particular button you may see that the image resurfaces up again. So this is the part where we practically need to make some kind of modification. In this particular part, we need to make some particular modifications in an order to create and make usage of the button element that I had used earlier. So if we now reload, we can see that the animation completes. But right now there isn't any alert box which is being generated here as we had commented it off. And on the other hand, there is no box either. So we need to customize this box class that I have created here into this custom style.css inside this individual commented section, which says about UI transition custom style comes right over here. So here we will be making usage of this box. We'll be mentioning it. The width should be 50 pixels. So goes the height 50 pixels. No need to make usage of any display properties right over here. Instead, we will be making usage of some kind of background color like this one, for say this one, and with this 50 pixels here right over here. So instead of 50 pixels, I think I should be rather using this width auto. So let's make the cursor to pointer. First of all, let's press Ctrl S and head back to our project and reload. We can see that this is practically the result. The width is auto as we had said here. In the next case, we need to define something like this: margin 0 auto. Now here I will be making usage of this text align for the center, and on the other hand I'll be making usage of this vertical align which will be in the middle. So I wish that the box right over here, the box that I have created here, this individual box should be placed at the middle of this div element. Now here comes the question. We had made usage of this vertical align, but it won't be working unless and until we may make usage of this position property here, which is absolute, and it will be rather working as we had made usage of this position property of relative against this parent container of grid observer cells. So what is exactly going to happen right over here? Press Ctrl S, head back to your project and reload, and you can see that practically the box right now disappears because we haven't set any kind of text elements here. So in that particular case, we may make usage of this padding property of 1 REM, and the box sizing is border box. Now if we head back to our project and reload, we can see that the box right now appears at the extreme left of this individual container. And we can see that on the other hand, this individual property, it practically doesn't work unless and until we are not mentioning the vertical alignment over here, or this position absolute over here, I'm sorry. So that is why there is no need of this margin 0 auto condition. We have no need of it. Press Ctrl S and move it out. And on the other hand, we need to place this box inside this individual div element of container. So all we need to do, we need to define the position here. So from the top it will be 0. I'm sorry, this is not 0. It will be 50%. and from left it will be having a 50% of position again. Press Ctrl S, reload, and we can see that the box right now appears at the middle of this box but not at the proper position. It is practically not belonging to the exact middle of this deep class grid observer cell. So in the next case we need to do so. That is why we will be adding two more properties over here. The first one is transform, and it is the translate. So we will be mentioning here this minus 50% and it will be minus 50% again. So why this translate property in action right into this box class? This is due to the fact it will be shifted in an accordance to its own width length. That is why we need to move it right forth back into the proper position of middle by overcoming that length which is been occupied by the box itself. This is the box itself and it will be having a particular width. That is why we need to overcome that width, and in an order to overcome it we need to apply this transform translate property right over here. So press Ctrl S, and if we now head back to our project and reload, we can see that right now the box appears at the exact middle of this deep class grid observer cells. And in the final case, as we are making usage of this HTML5 CSS3 code right over here, so in that particular case we need to mention this browser code. We'll be copying it over here and it will be ms transform translate. Next it will be transform translate. So all of these codes, those practically have some definite role to play for individual browsers, and that is why we are making usage of them, and especially we will be making usage of it here to make it work under this WebKit browsers. We will be adding this individual code right over here. So all of them are right now in place. This is the second code that we need to add up right over here. Now press Ctrl S, reload, and we can see that the exact same thing appears here. Now here comes the question. This is practically the box on clicking which we will be able to resurface up the disappeared image which disappears right now into this individual grid observer cells div element. So how to do it? This is the modification that we need to make into this individual JavaScript action that we had created earlier.